Everything about this 2025 season represents an uphill battle for this NIU Husky team, but it's all about how you continue to grow on what was a bad situation to be put in. The good news is, while it was a disappointing start to the season at 0-2, you did get to knock out maybe your two hardest games of the season, taking on Iowa and Maryland out of conference. Out of conference schedule continues though today against the UAB Blazers, and while out of conference is typically a little bit harder for the Huskies than the in-conference schedule, it is a pretty even matchup between these two teams. Running back Javon Jackson, coming off an incredible game last week, is going to be the lead guy here for this Blazers team, the second ever matchup between these two schools. Quarterback Jalen Kitna will throw outside for a 7-yard gain, and Kitna, the son of former NFL quarterback John Kitna, who started over 120 games across 4 different teams in the 2000s, so he has a very good pedigree to him, but we'll see if he can live up to the expectations and the legacy that his dad created for his family, as he'll throw an incomplete pass there, lead to a 4th down as running back Telly Johnson comes back out onto the field for his 3rd game of his sophomore campaign. He's had a tough go at it so far because of the offensive line struggles, and it's going to continue there. Just a 1-yard gain. 2nd down and 9. Macon to throw. Wide open, man. And the tight end Applegate's going to get the 1st down. Not going to be able to break a tackle, but to the 28-yard line they go. 2nd down and 8 for Macon. He'll step up. He'll run it. And Macon gets a block downfield, and will set up 3rd down and 1. Pistol formation. Give it to Telly Johnson. And Johnson's got the 1st down. We really feel like if we can build up this offensive line, the last 2 years of Telly Johnson could be really impressive. As a wide open man Givens, the pass was a little high, but it went right off his hands. Rain probably played a factor, and an unblocked defender will stop us at the line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 10. Clearing out the backfield, 2 tight ends, and Macon to throw it. He'll have to move right, and Macon gonna stop, throw it, tipped and incomplete, and that will give Kitna and the UAB offense the football back, as Kitna will step up and throw to a wide open man, and off the races, it's Klein inside the 20-yard line, and UAB with the big play, and now right over the middle, another strike. That one was impressive because he took a shot there. Now a toss outside on 1st down. They're not afraid to use both their running backs very effectively, but now back into the game comes Jackson after Isaiah Jacobs gets a loss. It'll be 3rd down and goal from the 4. Check it down to Jackson, who got caught up in his blockers and will lose a yard, but it's 4th and goal, and the offense still out on the field. We send an extra man, and it's a wide open receiver. Touchdown! Caleb Brown was wide open for UAB, and that is just unfortunate because we had the opportunity to hold them to 0 points, and now our offense down 7-0, getting backed up with a sack, throwing a pass on 3rd and 17. Givens, too far out of reach, was unlikely to be able to bring that one in, and the 1st quarter will wind down with UAB in great field position, but it will be 3rd and 12 to start the 2nd quarter as they hand it off, and Jackson is not going to get there. 5 yards on the play, but we'll get the football backed up at our own 10-yard line, as it will be Telly Johnson. He broke a tackle, but still no yards on the play, just no blocking, and now on 2nd down, it'll be a short completion. 3rd down and 8. Make it from under center. We'll see LaDon Bryant open, and Bryant 1st down and more past the 30-yard line, and a nice gain of 19 for this offense as they'll hand it off now. Telly Johnson gonna get a lane, and Telly Johnson, bad pursuit angle, and Johnson off to the races. It's got 1 man to beat inside the 10. Stiff arm, touchdown! NIU, to 69-yard touchdown from Telly Johnson. He found the lane. You just give him a little bit of daylight, and he can take it all the way for the score. He had just enough speed, and then the stiff arm to finish it at the end. 7-7 is your score, and the biggest play for NIU this season. Crowd here loving it for the home opener, as UAB is going to try to respond, and a fumble on the field. Jackson put it on the ground, and it's scooped up. UAB's receiver Milliner is going to take it all the way, and that is a touchdown. For the time being, I think I want another look at this one. Ball came out pretty late here in Jackson. I think that's very clearly down. It was a very opportune play by UAB's receiver to scoop that up and run it in, but it's going to be overturned. A rare instance where a fumble forced by the defense is actually something you want overturned. It's still going to be a first down run, and another one here for Jackson, as right up the middle, carving out this defense, but Jackson hurt on the play. That's going to lead to Jacobs, Isaiah Jacobs replacing the star running back for UAB, as Jacobs gets 2 straight touches and loses 2 yards. 3rd down and 12 for Kitna, sending an extra man in. Kitna steps up, and that's a pass that just sailed on him. It was an open receiver, and they'll try a 54-yard field goal in the rain. Nice kick from the kicker to give UAB the lead. 54 yards in the rain for college is no easy feat, as Telly Johnson, coming off his long run, loses 2 yards on his next carry. Now play action. Blitz picked up by Johnson, so good job there. Pass floated out of bounds. Defender was in the area. Don't know if that would have been able to be brought in regardless. 3rd down and 12, as pressure got in so quickly, and it's a 3 and out. And the rough part about these instances with our offensive line letting us down is the good field position UAB gets. Another possession that's starting from roughly midfield for them, as Kitna to the outside will get a completion for 4. 2nd down and 6 already from the 37-yard line. Screen for Isaiah Jacobs, and getting off the block but not able to make the tackle. He got thrown to the side, and UAB picks up the 1st down from the 27. Quick little pass is going to be caught, and now an injury for NIU. RJ McCullers down. Still, though, we're going to hope this defense can do what it's done pretty decently in the first 2 weeks, which is kind of don't break in these situations and let the floodgates open up a little bit as a sack comes in, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. 4th down, forced, and another field goal try is good. So another instance where good field possession was given and you don't allow a touchdown. So it will remain a 6-point game and a 2-yard loss. You just can't be having these 2nd and 12, 2nd and 11, 2nd and 13s. It turns out okay there, but you can't rely on getting 9 yards on that situation every single time. And now 4th and inches here for the Huskies. They're going to go for it. Goal line package. Jalen Poe checks into the game. The number 2 running back will get the carry, and Poe is going to get the 1st down. It was a little scary at first because he got some contact in the backfield, but he made it happen, and now a contested grab. That's Gary Givens for the 1st down, making up for that drop earlier. I feel like Macon is going to be running around, and he goes way far back. How about going 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, basically, and still delivering a 9-yard completion to Givens. And now, again, another rush for a loss. I mean, you take away that 69-yard score, and it's been bad. Now a miss here on 3rd down and 2. 4th down, going for it. Again, Macon hands it off, and Johnson can't go anywhere. Johnson maybe needed to do a little bit better that time. That was more on him, less on the line. But even still, 27 seconds to play in this first half. Credit to the defense here, as they will get a 3rd down stop. Let the clock run out to halftime, where we have a 13-7 score in the home opener for this Husky squad. It is just a single touchdown run from 69 yards out that has made this offense not look poor in this first half. I mean, that's half their yardage, and you just can't sustain offense living off one big play. As the first play of the second half, they'll try to go for another one here, and Brian just got knocked away, and that's a good play by the defense. Now Macon on the read option. He'll keep it, and Macon, a nice little run threat there, gets us 5 yards. 3rd down and 5. Macon will throw, and that's just over the head of the tight end, wide open. And now things are just getting brutal. A punt in the rain was shanked a little bit. I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily shanked, but he just didn't hit it right. And on top of that, they call a kick catch interference, and now, I mean, you might as well just gone for it. They get the ball at the 32-yard line, and with 1 first down, they're basically in the red zone. Bubble screen outside, and to the 16-yard line UAB goes. And this is just a brutal situation, as at least one positive here, as Javon Jackson will not be returning to this game, so we won't have to deal with their best player, but still, Kitna runs for a 1st down. It's goal to go from the 5-yard line. Jacobs is going to get the carry. Erweiler meets him, and he was the only one stopping him from a touchdown there, as Jacobs trying to finish the job this time. Broken tackle, and another one. Touchdown. 2 broken tackles, and he just powered his way in. 2-point conversion for the 14-point lead. Kitna in a dangerous pass. How is that caught? Kitna banged up on the play, but it's 21-7. And this has just been brutal. I mean, I can't even fully fault the defense. They're being put in awful situations. Telly Johnson with the completed pass to him gets 4. 3rd down and 3. Macon, quick outside, got it, first down, and we needed that one. We cannot afford another 3 and out. Jalen Poe with the carry. He'll get 4 set up, 3rd down and 4, as Macon will throw again for the first down. If you're going to have a chance in this one, you need to get a little bit of momentum, a little bit of rhythm. 3rd down and 8. And again, another poor 3rd down situation. Macon to throw it. He'll go outside for Brian. Knocked away. 4th down and 8. And you got to punt it. And just like that, we are just a few minutes left in this 3rd quarter. And even though they're not having Javon Jackson in this game, Isaiah Jacobs is still a really talented running back, and he's been able to fill in the void pretty adequately, and especially when Kitten is delivering on 3rd down like he is, he's had a pretty solid game as they'll throw a slant route, caught, he's reaching, not quite gonna get the first down, and now quick pass on 2nd and inches, and how about going right back to Corey Miller for the first. 40 seconds in the 3rd left as they'll swing it outside. Jacobs wide open, catch and run. You seen Coach Easy there just hang his head right in front of Jacobs, who got that first down. 4th quarter is upon us. 3rd down and 9. UAB threatening to go up by 3 scores. They'll get the first down, and Corey Miller again with another grab for another crucial first down. And Jacobs, at least the defense will swarm there. But with 8 minutes to play, UAB's taking their time. It's been a long drive, and Erweiler almost just got a pick. That could have really flipped the game. Instead, a field goal try is going to be off the upright. It's no good. I mean, that's about as adequate as an interception, so we'll take it as Telly Johnson out of the backfield. We need to score in the worst way. Under 7 minutes to play. Hit as he's throwing. Incomplete. They sent the blitz. We got an open receiver, and you just couldn't deliver to him. This time, though, Brian gets us to 4th and inches. Here we go. Come on, Telly Johnson for the first down and more. There you go. His first decent run since that touchdown. As now 1st and 10 from Macon. He'll roll right. He's got some avenues to run it, and he will. Gets a block from the receiver, and Macon for 19. Finally, this offense, this is their first competent drive of the game as they hand it off to Telly Johnson. 8 yards, 5 minutes to play, 13-yard line. There you go, read option, just using Macon's legs and getting it to 1st and goal from the 4-yard line. Johnson right up the middle, touchdown. And NIU not out of it yet, just like they did against Maryland. A little bit of a late rally. The issue is, though, is it once again too little too late. You can't rely on winning games when your offense doesn't figure it out until halfway through the 4th quarter. 4 minutes to play. Realistically, UAB can go into their 4-minute offense, and they can try to run out this entire clock, or at least as much of it as possible, especially when Jacobs is getting runs like that. We're down to 3 minutes to play. Handoff, again, cutting it back, and he's got 3rd and inches. So with the 2-minute warning approaching with this run, Jacobs first down. And the 2-minute warning is hit. NIU's got to start using their timeouts. Get a stop there. Okay, first timeout burn. 2nd down and 12. Kitten finally in the air. He'll have a completion. Stays in bounds. Got to use timeout number 2 and 3rd down and 8 for the game. Jacobs! He's got it. And that is your game. And exactly what I said. You can't rely on winning a game when your offense doesn't figure it out until a couple minutes to go. You didn't even get the football back. Even if NIU's offense had figured it out, had finally solved the puzzle or whatever the case may be, you didn't even get the football back. You didn't even get a chance. Now, the defense has got to get a stop there, but also you can't have 4 yards an attempt from Macon, and it's not all on his fault. He had a bad game, yes, but also, I mean, how many times is he getting hit as he's throwing? How many times is he in bad situations? This offensive line is brutal. Telly Johnson had a pretty nice game. Even if you take away the 69-yard run, though, by the end it looked okay, but it was just brutal. The only positive I can really say about this offense so far is through 3 games, they haven't thrown any picks. I mean, Macon hasn't, despite being in bad situations and despite taking a lot of risk, hasn't thrown any interceptions. I guess there's something to be positive about, but even still, you just can't survive on offense like this. And what do you even do? What do you do in this situation when you're put in this scenario where you become a new head coach just a few weeks out from the season and you can't really get everything in tune? You're seeing a team that is unprepared, and it's hard for me to blame Coach Easy because you're being put at a disadvantage. It's hard for me to blame a lot of these players, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating. Let's just try, though, to look towards the future a little bit. We have climbed our way into the top 5 of a couple of players' boards. Safety Cameron Hurt, one of our top prospects that we are attacking, definitely going to be loading up the points on him. Positions we are targeting: safety, I mean, really just secondary as a whole, because other than Jacob Finley, we can't really rely on anybody else. And I mean, with how this team is going, how can we even rely on anybody to be here? I mean, what's the transfer portal going to look like for us? But obviously, offensive line's been in need. We'll take a peek at an offensive lineman that we are spotlighting later on in one of the other spotlight sections of this video. And then also, we have Jalen Leanne, who is going to be considering us. We are already in the top 5 of Leanne. We're going to be bringing him onto campus in the coming weeks, and you know, it's great that he is maybe not as caring about the wins and the losses and the success. He just wants to stay close to home, and he just wants to take care of his sister. So we're thankful for that, because that's the only way we're going to have a chance at a guy like him. But before we get into our next game, game 4 of the season, and our final non-conference matchup, hoping we can avoid the 0-4 non-conference run here, how about we get into our first of 3 spotlight players that we will cover, and how about we take a look at the fastest running back in the nation. Today, let's introduce you to maybe the fastest player in the nation for this recruiting class. It is running back Blaze Carlisle, and given the nickname Blaze for how blazing fast he is on the field, because when he isn't smoking defenders on the field, he's smoking a lot of stuff off the field, and that is why maybe he's looking at himself as a 4-star prospect and not a 5-star prospect. Despite 4.25 speed, a track star type of athlete when it comes to just that straight line speed that he could just jet past everybody, he does have a little bit of off the field interest that is not exactly the most team friendly. Let's just say, coming from the Mile High City, he likes to get really high up there, and it has hindered some of his potential growth as a player, because it is something that is not just a thing that he happens to do off the field. It's a legitimate hobby. It's a legitimate passion that he does have. And hey, everybody's got their vices on and off the field. Everybody's got the way that they deal with things. But I mean, regulations and rules, despite being a little bit looser nowadays, aren't exactly perfect. And if you're going to want to go be a college athlete, you maybe got to reel it back a little bit, or at least don't be doing it as much as publicly as you were previously. But you know, when you're in high school, it's you can do whatever you want a little bit, but once you kind of get in front of a national spotlight, you get in front of televisions, you get in front of media, you get in front of all that stuff, you can't really be doing that much. That's where some of the negatives, I guess, will come in, where it's mainly just commitment to just straight up football. I mean, coaches are wanting him to fly high to the end zone. He's flying high up into the clouds, and that's not something that every coach is going to be able to put up with. So I think that is the number one thing. But if you want another negative on him, I mean, he's 5'9", 180. He was a guy who in high school wasn't a dominant ball carrier. No surprise there. He very much was splitting carries and was the team's return man. So what he does give you, though, is legitimately elite speed. The type of guy who can go and score a touchdown every single time he touches the football. He is shifty. He is obviously not going to power through anybody, but he will get around you and past you, and has the ability to be, at the very least, a all-American level kick and punt returner, where he can also give you a little bit of explosiveness on offense. But if he commits fully into being the best football player he can possibly be, I think he can give you a little bit more on top of that. Maybe he'll never be a superstar type of player, though, just due to his size at the running back position, 181 pounds. I mean, maybe you could be like Devon Achane, but not a lot of Devon Achanes exist, because there's been a lot of guys who have been in that archetype that haven't hit those highs. But he's a player that it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Not everyone's going to want to put up with him. Not everyone's going to want to deal with some of the baggage off the field. But if you're willing to put that aside a little bit, and you're a little bit looser as a program and as a school on that type of stuff, you could be getting yourself a dynamic, athletic, speed demon who is going to create a lot of excitement on your football field for years to come. Let's wrap up non-conference play the right way by trying to get our first win of the season. We're taking on San Diego State at home once again. There is certainly one player on the San Diego State team that is absolutely terrifying, and that is edge rusher Trey White, who is an absolute superstar. And when you match up this type of a star edge rusher against our offensive line, it seems like a recipe for disaster. History not really on our side either. 0-6 all time against this Aztec team as quarterback. Jaden Denigle's gonna throw, and an open man already in a big play. That's Jordan Napier. We'll cover him in a moment as a wide receiver has been on fire this season. Running back Byron Caldwell for the first down. He's going to be a big part of their offensive strategy. This time around as a sack. There it is, Jelani Williams. That's a sack, and I mean, for a guy who only had 1 sack last year, we're hoping we can get a lot more than that this year. 3rd down and 14, as that's going to be Jacob Bostic. Not going to be at the marker, but still 10 yards and just enough for field goal range as the kick is good. And the key to this game, I think, in general, it's not just making sure we can't let Trey White dominate the game. It's also making sure that this offense can do something, and that's not going to be the something we want. I said we were worried about Trey White dominating the pass rush. Well, he dropped back in coverage and intercepted us, as that's the first pick of the season for Macon, and now Caldwell inside the 10. I guess we did start with a 3 and out. That's a positive. I mean, we didn't even get the opportunity to, as inside the 5 to the 2-yard line goes this San Diego State offense. Caldwell, touchdown! And they are already up by double digits with the extra point. And we need to not add interceptions to our list of issues as Macon goes down. It's a sack, 3rd down and 13. How about interception? And then threatening to go 3 and out, and we will. Man, not a good first 5 minutes of this one as Denigle's going to get sacked. Okay, our pass rush at least chipping in a little bit. 2nd and 14. Caldwell is going to run through our defender. Miles Thompson got put on his back. 3rd down and 5. And a wide open man, Jordan Napier, who has been just on fire this season. How about 26 grabs, over 300 yards, and 3 touchdowns? But Jelani Williams, how about a sack from him? Just a 1-yard loss, but we'll take it. Napier on the grab. He'll lose a yard. 3rd down and 12, and they'll set up the screen, and that swarm too. This defense needs to play really well if we're going to want to do something in this game, as they're going to check it down outside. We get the football and start off finally with a 1st down. Telly Johnson out of the backfield. Now a bubble screen, maybe just trying to do some more quick stuff. But LaDon Bryan can't go anywhere. 3rd down and 10. Macon is going to throw over the middle. It's caught, and LaDon Bryan with the 1st down. Now a handoff. Telly Johnson. We're going to hope we can find some consistency in the ground game. Just get us something. 2nd and 5s. We want more of those as Bryan testing it one-on-one. Bryan brings it in. And an incredible grab, LaDon Bryan. We need more of that in the worst way. Handoff. Johnson inside the 5 down to the 4. 2nd and 2. First quarter winding down. Johnson juking it inside. He'll get it to 1st and goal to wrap up the first quarter. Johnson, touchdown. And that is massive. A actual drive by this offense to get 7 points. And not only that, to get it early on in this game as Denigle is going to start the 2nd quarter off, jumping over a down defender. 3rd down and 2. Caldwell fights for the 1st down. Had an opportunity to get off the field there, but Caldwell just too much power. But the blitz sent in and too much pressure. How about the 4th sack of the game already for this NIU team? As Denigle throwing one up for Napier, one-on-one. He brings it in. I guess just nobody is able to stop this guy so far in the first month of this season. 2nd down and 8. Denigle, read option, is going to get brought down in open field. But now 3rd down and 4. Denigle, he's going to throw. End zone! Intercepted! Porter brings it in! Probably shouldn't have taken it out of the end zone. But finally, this defense catches their 1st interception of the season. And there you go. We get to see some big plays from this team. High pass. Going to be brought in and getting us a little bit of breathing room here. Quick pass on the RPO. Bryan. And we're going to him a little bit more. He had that big 10-catch game against Maryland. Was a little quiet afterwards, but we're happy to get him a little bit more involved like he was in that Maryland game. Macon stepping up, and he's going to run it. Macon's got a lot of room, 15 plus in the play, and just like that, Brian is injured. So we're talking about getting him more involved. He gets hurt, and now an interception along the sideline is going to be out of bounds. Couldn't get his foot in. 3rd down and 8, throwing it, and incomplete, intended for Givens. But man, just when it felt like we were doing something and Brian was really giving us a lot of good production there, he gets hurt. So now what do you do? Back to the drawing board. Defense back out there. 3rd down and 3. Denegal gets a lot of room. Read option, breaking a tackle, breaking 2, and Denegal off to the races. Finley chasing him down. He's not a fast quarterback, but he is powerful, and he gets all the way to the 6-yard line. Just poor tackling. RPO, quick pass, and Napier, and touchdown. Jordan Napier with his 4th touchdown on the season. And here's hoping the offense has a response as they'll load up and throw one deep for Telly Johnson right over the shoulder. And Johnson out of the backfield with a big grab. And that's another big play. Huge for this offense to finally get some chunk plays, some explosives in there. 2nd down and 4. Macon high. It's caught by Givens. Into the 24-yard line. We're really going to be leaning on Givens even more because of no LaDon Bryant for now, as that pass way off the mark. But there's a flag down, and I mean, definitely the ball wasn't catchable, but he did bring him down, so they'll give us pass interference. A little bit of a bailout there. Macon is going to get stopped in the backfield. Read option goes nowhere. Loss of 3. 2nd down and 13. Macon stepping up. He'll get those yards back and more inside the 5 to the 4. And now 2nd and goal. Handing it off. Johnson will get it to 3rd and goal from the 4. Macon to throw it outside. It's caught by Rogers, but short. 4th down and 2. We got to go for it here. Come on. Speed option. Flip it out. And Johnson, his 2nd touchdown. A huge call. We could have cut it to a 1-score game with the field goal, but when you get that close, not many opportunities this offense has had to score from inside the 5-yard line. We take them where we can get them. 17-14. And finally, the offense is looking like they're showing a little bit of life in this season. 2nd half will wind down with 16 seconds to play as we get the football back in Macon. We'll take off and scramble with it in Macon. He's going to maybe try to get us into field goal range from the 37-yard line. And one play is going to spark a field goal opportunity. Rogers out of bounds. 5 seconds to play. Offense still out there. Johnson, get us closer. And wow, this offense. Look at that. Kick is good. And we're going into halftime 17-17. San Diego State was looking to maybe just run out the clock, burn our timeouts, and they didn't think we were going to do anything with less than 20 seconds to play, but we did. And this offense, how about 97 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on 20 attempts? Great stuff from the NIU attack. And finally, the offense is given something to be excited about. The offensive line is playing at least adequately enough as we are getting the football to start the 2nd half. Quick pass, tipped, intercepted, come on! And Givens, it went off his hands, the ball was high, but a tip pick. We can't be having that go against us like that. Caldwell on the carry, and now both the opening drive of the 1st and 2nd half start with interceptions. They're over here handing it off to their tight end, and he gets a 1st down. Christian Jones is going to be down, but they'll give it to their tight end again. I mean, line your tight up in the backfield and hand him the football. Why not? 3rd down and goal from the 7. And Denegal is going to throw in the face of pressure. Touchdown. And San Diego State 24-17 on top. And just like that, any momentum that we thought we had has been zapped away. And sitting in a 3rd and 2 situation, Telly Johnson, play action. They fell for it. Now throw on the run. And Applegate can't bring it in. Man, that was a good play fake. You had the opportunity, just couldn't bring it in. That's just unfortunate. SDSU with the football back as Denegal to play action. He'll throw. Pass deep middle. Caught by Napier. And he has just been unguardable. Over 100 yards for him on the day. Another one to add to his early season success. But how about a second? At least one positive for this defense. The pressure has been phenomenal. Jelani Williams gets in there again. Half a sack credited to him. And it's 3rd and 17 is the situation now. They'll toss one up. Jacob Finley one-on-one. Knocked away. And Finley at least has been rock solid all season long so far. We get the football back. Macon throws underneath. Givens is going to have the 5-yard grab. LaDon Bryant's still not back in this one. He won't come back in this one, so it's going to be up to Gary Givens to keep on moving this offense along with his receiving production. Toss it out. Jalen Poe, nice block on the edge, and Poe past midfield, and he'll get it to the 49-yard line, and a nice run from him. Play action as Macon will have to quickly bail, check it down. Johnson, we're liking to see that a little bit more, getting a little bit more check down to try to alleviate some of the pressure, as Johnson will finish that set of downs off with a first down, and we'll get a read option here. Macon to the edge, and Macon will get 16, and with 3 minutes to play in this third quarter, this offense is moving outside. Gibbons, nice grab, but Gibbons is now banged up. Come on, can we catch a break? Macon will run it, trying to get to the end zone. He takes a shot, but he gets to the 1-yard line. Throwing, open man in the corner, touchdown right near the pylon. It's Telly Johnson, number 3. He's got all our touchdowns. And now the offense for San Diego State wastes no time getting a big play. And Denegal already set up at the 45-yard line. He'll get sacked. Fumble, and it's picked up by San Diego State, but Jelani Williams, it's been a career day for him, and we found an offensive line that's just as bad as ours, as Caldwell's going to get a big run there on third down, but it was 3rd and 23, so they're not going to get the first down. And now this offense, 24-24, and that's the good news. The bad news is we're out our top 2 receivers, and our receiving core was already weak. We go 3 and out. Back goes San Diego State's offense, and Denegal is going to have a deep pass over the middle and caught by the tight end. And they are in scoring range from the 27. Caldwell right up the middle. He'll fall forward and get 12 for the first down. He's over 100 on the day. Caldwell is going to go in the backfield, break a tackle, but he'll lose a yard. 3rd down and 11. Can we get off the field here as Denegal will throw right at a defender? Powell with the pick, and the second interception for this defense is going to be a big one, as 2 times now in the red zone we've turned this offense over, and now we try to lean on what little weapons we have left on this offense to try to help us out. Issue is we find ourselves in 3rd down and 3 again, and Trey White finally gets in. He's been surprisingly quiet since that interception, but it has been a sack party for NIU. How about number 8 on the game to set up 3rd down and 13? Do we got number 9? A lot of time. Now the offensive line doing a good job. Throw on the run, and nice coverage there. That was great defense. 6 minutes to play, and Macon, he's getting sacked, and now every bit of pass rush starting to hit at the wrong time for us. You might notice LaDon Bryant is back in the game. He forced himself back in despite being nowhere near 100%. We're going to go to him here. It's knocked away, but Bryant kind of seeing an opportunity to where we can get our first win of the season. Givens is out. Caldwell now back on the field, and he's stiff-arming defenders for San Diego State as they get a big first down run. But credit to LaDon Bryant playing at less than 100%, trying to force his way back in this game. And the defense, how about sack number 9 on the game? 3rd down and 14 as Denegal, he's going to throw one-on-one coverage. It's knocked away. And we will get the football back, and all of a sudden the defenses are stepping up big time. It's Johnson in the open field. Couldn't make a man miss. He'll get 5 yards. 3:30 to play. Macon will try to check it down, but he had to pull it back in because he got sacked. 3rd down and 14. Macon outside. Bryant with the grab, and his momentum takes him out of bounds. And it's going to be a punt. 4th down and 2. We weren't going to go for it, that backed up. And now with 2:40 to play, it's going to be 2nd down and 5 for this San Diego State offense. Read option. Denegal got a lot of good blocks there. And the offensive line finally did something nice for him. As with 2:30 to play, they're going to drop back and throw on the play action. Taking a shot deep. 1-on-1 to the end zone. And it's knocked away from Napier. Finally, Napier, someone defended him successfully. 3 option on 3rd down and 9. Denegal fighting. Not going to get the first down. 4th and inches, but it was enough to get him into field goal range. Kick on the way. It is good. And finally, some points on the board here. It's been a while, but San Diego State's got the lead with under 2 minutes to play. Macon over the middle, caught, and a broken tackle. He's gonna get 9. Hurry it back to the line, 1:20 to play, and it's Telly Johnson stopped in the backfield. 3rd down and 3. Macon outside, caught for the 1st down. Under a minute to play. Now it's gonna be play action. Macon thrown over the middle, tipped, intercepted again. Come on, 2 tip picks. And it was in coverage. It was a dangerous ball, but the receiver, Brian, got his hands on it, and when a ball just gets ricocheted in the air, it's just unlucky to have it fall into a defender's hands. We have all of our timeouts. An injury timeout even saves us a little bit, and we will get the stop here. It'll be another field goal try, though, so it puts us in a tough spot as the field goal just sneaks in the right upright. It's 30-24, but we do have 24 seconds and 1 timeout. Macon, can you at least get us into Hail Mary range? That's a good start. 32-yard line, we're not going to use that timeout. Hurry it back to the line. We temporarily stop that clock as Macon will throw outside. Nice ball. Hurry it back to the line. Hold on to that timeout. One more play to get us in a closer range. Quick pass, caught, and timeout used. 4 seconds to play and a chance at a Hail Mary. You definitely got the arm for this one. 38 yards out. He'll have time. He'll have the protection. Everybody in the end zone. Macon throwing it up in the air. It's knocked away. And San Diego State is going to hold on for the victory. And even though we were a little outmatched, it was still nice to at least put some points on the board and compete. Caldwell has a nice game. And man, the offense was doing pretty well for a large portion of this game. I felt like Macon, even though he threw 3 interceptions, which, I mean, he hadn't done up until this point, thrown any picks, I still felt like he had some really nice plays this game. And 2 of his picks, I mean, they weren't great passes or decisions, but they were still tip picks. So that's a little unlucky. But I really think, like, things could have been a little bit different if we didn't have injuries. I mean, Gary Givens and LaDon Bryant especially, was going to work this game, and he got knocked out, didn't come back in until the 4th quarter, where he was not near 100%, and Gary Givens then took over, was, you know, doing pretty solid, and then he got hurt, and then he never returned to the game. So that's just unfortunate, man. But that will be 0-4 on the season, despite 9 sacks from the defense, and Jelani Williams having a spectacular day. It's just not going to matter. You know, Jelani Williams, though, hey, MAC Defensive Player of the Week, we'll take that. But now we're at the point in the season where, you know, we start to kind of figure out what these prospects really think about us, and to no surprise, they don't think very highly of us, as we've gotten locked out of a number of recruits due to deal breakers, playing style, and, you know, a couple of other things not really going in our favor. Now, we are in the lead on a number of these guys, and there's a chance we can kind of climb back into the race for them if they, you know, start to like us a little bit more throughout the season. But for now, we're going to have to just stick with the fact that we might be losing out on even more prospects that we thought we maybe had a chance on. So for who we have on the board, guard Kiki Onyemata is looking pretty nice right here. A well-rounded guard from Jacksonville, Florida. We are in his top 5, so nice to see there. We have a visit scheduled for Monk at left tackle. And then quarterback, you know, we've been looking. Nolan Lewinberg, we're going to take him off the board. Northwestern seems like they are going to be getting him. Leon Granger at running back is looking really nice. Unfortunately, you know, the top receiver other than Jalen Leanne on our board, Avant, has not really been a fan of our play style because, I mean, receivers haven't been all that productive. But like I said, Brett Monk, we got that visit scheduled for him. We're really going to try to sell him hard. I think he's a player that is very gettable for this squad. So good stuff there. And at, you know, edge rusher too, we, I mean, had a nice performance from our guys. So maybe we're going to look at someone like a Steve Winey, and he'll really like what he's seeing. But as you can see, the board's pretty shallow, and I think that's what's going to be this recruiting class, unfortunately. We add some more guys to the board just so we can get some more info, especially wide receiver. We need more than just 1 or 2 guys, it feels like. And I mean, you've seen what happened once Givens and Bryan got hurt. We got no depth at receiver, and even Givens and Bryan are far from star or great players. Those themselves are guys that probably shouldn't be number one, number two receivers. So we lack overall top to bottom when it comes to top end and depth when it comes to receivers. So we're really going for it there. And this recruiting class, we're just hoping for a couple of guys we can really like staple our future to. We're not expecting a quantity of players, but we're hoping for a couple of nice ones. How about some more recruiting news, though, elsewhere? This was a domino that was waiting to fall in the world of college football, and that is of TJ Comella. We covered the Comella brothers previously, but TJ was the one that was widely expected to be the one committing to Wisconsin. And even though Wisconsin was interested, obviously, in both the brothers, and both the brothers badly wanted to be there was only one spot available. TJ, the number one quarterback in the nation, goes to Wisconsin. It's the best quarterback prospect in Wisconsin football history, and that's going to leave things open for his brother, JJ, to open up his recruiting process as now teams start flocking to JJ to try to reel him in. But this is just another disappointing moment in the life of JJ Comella, how he once again gets upstaged by his brother and basically steals his dream right away from him. So that is going to be unfortunate for him, but we'll see how TJ does when he lands in Wisconsin next season. And when it comes to some of the other top prospects in the nation, how about we cover one of, if not arguably, the best defender in the entire country next? I feel like you always maybe set yourself up when you compare very young college athletes to star and Hall of Fame level players, but this one makes a little bit of sense. We look at the number one corner in the nation, Sean Oden, who I think is very much a person you can look at and say, man, that's a lot of Richard Sherman in his game, and it's not without any validity, because this is a guy who grew up in Seattle originally during the time in which, the Legion of Boom was doing their thing, and he basically idolized Richard Sherman, eventually moves to Cincinnati, Ohio, becomes the number one cornerback in the nation, number one player in the state of Ohio. With Sean Oden, physical, best zone corner in the country, very smart. He's probably not going to any Ivy League schools. He's not going to be attending Stanford. He's not going to be attending any of those schools for academics. But when it comes to football IQ, he definitely has that, and it is definitely represented in his zone cover ability. Now, his man coverage, that's not to say it's not adequate. It's perfectly fine, but if you are elite in zone while being solid in man, you'll take that every single day. What is really even the knock on a guy like Sean Oden, who already is incredibly smart at the young age of 18, is incredibly physical, has the size, the height, the weight, everything you'd want in a build at cornerback? Well, just like Richard Sherman, long speed is a little bit of a question. This is a guy who probably isn't going to be running any 4.3s by the time the NFL rolls around, which you presume he will be an NFL player one day. So he probably won't be running any crazy 40 times, probably more so a 4.5 type of guy. Maybe he could sneak into the 4.4s, but long speed's a little bit of a question, especially nowadays. He's a player where maybe if you're leaving him behind. He will also get penalized a little bit because of that. He gets even with them. He starts getting a little grabby. It's smart in some aspects because you don't want to get beat over the top for a touchdown, and sometimes you can get away with some of those grabby penalties. Also, no surprise here, he's a bit of a trash talker, maybe not to the level of Sherman was when he was in Seattle, but he is definitely a personality on the field. He will get in your face. He will bump and run and talk trash in your face while he is trying to shut you down. And to no surprise, being the number one recruit in the state of Ohio, Ohio State has a lot of interest in him. It's not just a school like Ohio State, though. You think of schools that have good coaching, smart DBs. You think of, recently Alabama during the Nick Saban time has had always incredibly smart DBs. He is probably a dream for a school like Alabama when it comes to an intelligence standpoint. He's got his pick of a lot of different schools, and I think the top 4 you're looking at are on that bottom left of the screen. So the world is really at Sean Oden's hands, and it's just a matter of, can he keep up? Will Oden live up to those expectations, ones that he put on himself by idolizing one great corner like Richard Sherman, or will he prove to just be a little too outdated? My bet is I think he can hang in today's football and will live up to the #1 cornerback billing, but there's always that possibility. We'll see where he goes in his college football career. 0-4 in conference play is less than ideal, to put it lightly, but I can't sit here and pretend that I am stunned by that result. But let's put that behind us a little bit. The offense showed some promise, and now we're on to conference play, where Jalen Macon, coming off 3 interceptions last week, we're taking on Miami of Ohio, and it is time to start conference play, looking for our first win of the season. First pass of the game, incomplete, and quickly finding ourselves 3rd down and 11. Macon steps back and into a defender who hits him as he throws. Daquan Finn, the quarterback here at Miami of Ohio, coming off a 350-yard, 3-touchdown game. So while his trajectory's going up, Macon's maybe going a little bit down. And already the offense for Miami of Ohio looking pretty nice there with a Kenny Tracy 10-yard run. Finn hands it off, and Tracy not going to be able to go anywhere. Loses a yard. Finn, quick screen outside. Caught and on the run with a lot of room. Darian Williamson will have it to the 29-yard line. Quick pass on the RPO. This Miami, Ohio offense. A lot of quick stuff. A lot of RPO. A lot of screens. And you can already see it coming out in bunches right now. Tossing it outside now on 3rd down and inches. And that's a stop in the backfield. Nice job by the defense to do what they have done a couple of times this year. Bend, don't break. Field goal is good. It's all about building off of last week for this offense, where they finally were able to do something, at least in the first half. 17 points put up in the first half. That was nice to see, and some upward trajectory hopefully being in our favor. As look at Telly Johnson. Incredible fight from him, as Johnson, coming off a 3-touchdown game last week, is banged up. And Johnson, as if we couldn't have more injury luck go against us. Jalen Poe, solid back, comes in, and immediately it's an interception. That pass was bad. There was some contact. It was intended for Bryant, but he never had a chance at it, and Finn immediately delivers a big strike over the middle to Colsey, and now Finn off the play action, checks it down. Williamson loses yards. It's 3rd down and 14, so chance to hold to a field goal again, and we will. So defense does what they can, and once again, it's a field goal. It is good, 6-0. But now, for a guy who threw 0 interceptions in his first 3 games, he has 4 in the past 5 quarters. That's not what we want to see, as a outside pass here for LaDon Bryant's going to be caught for a 1st down. If you noticed the play previously, Telly Johnson did come in and take a carry. Looked pretty decent, but he kind of didn't feel right. He came back off the field, said, no, I'm not feeling it. Something's up. And he's going to be remaining out of the game, and because of that, we may not be able to move the football as good as we were able to last week, as, you know, that was the guy who put up 3 touchdowns for us, was pretty effective, has one of our biggest plays of the season. He's gone, and we got to watch their starting running back, Kenny Tracy, have 25 yards on 6 carries. First quarter ending with this play to Williamson. And Miami of Ohio back in scoring range, into field goal range now with Kenny Tracy. Another 1st down run. And this is not looking good, as we've not been able to do much of anything. If it wasn't for a fact that we got a couple of 3rd down stops, this game could be even more out of hand right now. As Finn, lot of room, Daquan Finn, touchdown. Now it's 13-0, and we're without our best player on offense, as Jalen Poe, like I said, very solid player, but Telly Johnson's a starter for a reason. He's really good at what he does, and that pass sailing over the head of the receiver, incomplete. Macon, pressure coming in, pass outside, there you go, something. And then 1st down completion, handoff to Poe will get us 3. 2nd down and 7 out of the pistol play action. Bite on the play action, so we got some room here. Throwing on the run. There you go, LaDon Bryant for a 1st down catch and run, trying to get him back going like he was last week before the injury. Bad keep there, Macon loses 4 in the read option. 2nd and 14 now. Throwing! That's just all on him! That's a bad throw. Crossbody, back foot, double coverage. You broke every rule on the book with that one, and I can at least give you a little bit of leeway for a couple of tip picks last week. You get none for that one. And once again, great field position and keep on capitalizing on it. Kenny Tracy for a screen first down and a gain of 60 in there. And now the tight end wide open in the flats. I mean, this offense does a good job of setting Daquan Finn up for easy completions, catch and run opportunities. And then when you got Kenny Tracy running like that, what are you even going to do as a 13-0 deficit's looking like it's going to be turned into even more? Good job for Jacob Finley to get a 4-yard tackle for loss there, but the screen's going to get him all that yards back and more for a 3rd down and manageable. Handoff to Tracy, right up the middle. He's not going to get there. It'll be 4th and 2 from the 2. They kick the field goal, and the kick is no good. An embarrassing miss for Miami of Ohio, but can we do something off the back of it? As that pass to a wide open Gary Givens, broken tackle. There we go, something. As we need to maybe create a little bit more after the catch to help make it out. Do something, man. As that pass right over the middle. There you go, LaDon Bryan. He's been able to be found early and often in this game. As 1st down and 10, Macon. He's going to run it. He is. Macon right to the marker. They give him the 1st down. And finally, some movement as we're in enemy territory from the 40. Pass outside. It was a little late, and it's going to be incomplete. 3rd down and 8. Now screen set up. Quick pass to Kruger. The 3rd string running back is going to get the 1st down. So from the 28-yard line, 60 seconds to play. Play action to Kruger. Macon, that's just right out of defender and an interception again. 3rd of the 1st half. In the first 12 quarters, 0 picks. The last 6 quarters, 6 picks. That is just a collapse from Macon. A sack from the defense. Jelani Williams building off his last week performance, but Macon is not looking good to help this defense out in the slightest. Kenny Tracy banged up there after Daquan Finn 1st down run. But with 30 seconds to go, Finn is threatening to score more, and a strike over the middle for 25. They run the clock down, take a field goal, and it is 16-0. Probably should be 19-0. You could maybe even argue more if our defense didn't get a couple of 3rd down stops. But this has looked bad as we have 140 yards of offense, but Miami of Ohio's got, like 240. Time of possession hasn't been in our favor. Yards per play hasn't been in our favor. The turnover's not in our favor. And for the 3rd time in the first 5 games of the season, a first half with 0 points for NIU. And I thought maybe after that San Diego State game, we were building a little bit of something. We were settling in a little bit, but Macon seems to be unraveling. And I brought it up in the Maryland game where it seems like when he gets a little behind the sticks or he got a little rattled, he tried to force it a little too much. And it feels like that's what he's doing right now. And you can't be having that. As a stiff arm there, my goodness, we can't even make a tackle into enemy territory from the 32-yard line. Handing it off. Tracy is okay. He's back, but he's getting tackled for a loss there. 2nd down and 12. Maybe we can hold to another field goal, but Finn not going to let it happen, at least on that set of downs. 1st down scramble, and from the 14-yard line, Tracy right up the middle. Tracy goes to 1st down and goal. They're taking a lot of time on this drive. Starting the 2nd half right, over half the quarter taken up, and a touchdown for Kenny Tracy. And my goodness, what do we even do? Macon is down 23-0. He runs for a 1st down, but he got less than a quarter and a half to try to make something happen. And I don't know if it is. Bryant with the grab. At least he's had a nice game. I could say that. And obviously, it did throw off our game plan early on. Then in the first, quarter, our best player on offense got taken out. And Jalen Poe open there. Couldn't make the connection happen. 4th down and 6 for Macon. Going for it. Incomplete. And this is potentially going to get a little ugly if we can't do anything. I mean, I can't even blame the defense that much. They've held the field goals, but they're set up in so many bad situations. And at least we get a stop there. But with 30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, that pass is going to be a wide open man catch and run. There we go. 20-plus yards, something there. 4th quarter underway, though, and Macon underneath. That pass a little off target, but going to be caught. 4th down and 2. Going for it again. How about a wide open Bryan? and he just missed it. And I mean, if the game wasn't already over, I think after that, you could say it's over. Miami, Ohio gets stopped after they get a couple of first downs. Field goal's good, 26-0 with 6 minutes to play is your score. A 4th down and 1 and a no good conversion. I mean, like, it's just everything's going wrong. At least the defense, I guess, gets a stop there, but field goal good again, 29-0, and we're down to 4 minutes to play. And if you're wondering, maybe why not bench Macon at this point? I mean, is it really even going to get all that much better if you bench him? I guess maybe not, but I mean, Macon's a starter for a reason. Now, about a wide open man down the field there, LaDon Bryant. At least I can count on Bryant for a positive outcome this game. Touchdown there. Finally some points, but it's in garbage time at this point. 2 minutes to go and a screen outside. That's going to be caught. And how about breaking through 2 defenders and all the way to the 1 yard line? How about for good measure, get another touchdown, and that will be your game. Miami of Ohio runs us off our home field in the MAC opener 36-7. And what felt like we had some progress, you know, steadily, little by little, it just gets completely undone, beaten out of us. And, you know, Miami, Ohio puts up 400 yards of offense. I mean, we put up a lot of our yards in garbage time, so I can't even really, you know, celebrate 300-plus yards of offense. DeQuan Finn, I mean, 23 of 26. I can give the defense a little bit of credit for some things that they did, but you can't allow a quarterback to complete that much of percentage of his passes, like 85+%. You can't be allowing that. That's just inexcusable. Telly Johnson getting knocked out in the first quarter was brutal, but at least we had LaDon Bryant go and get as many catches as the rest of the team combined in over 100 yards. So good on Bryant, but man, 0-5 is the situation now as we are approaching that midway point in the season. And I guess all we really have to hang our hats on is maybe just hoping recruiting goes our way. But obviously, the more things go on, the more, you know, people are looking at us and saying, maybe we don't want to be here. Maybe, just maybe, things are a little disorganized, disoriented, dysfunctional. I can't blame prospects for that. I mean, you can probably go somewhere else and get a little bit more stability. And, I mean, it's not hard to be better than 0-5. So we're going to hope that the second half of the season will give us something to be excited about, as at least the on-the-field stuff has been brutal. Macon's going to stay the quarterback for now. He might get benched. I'll give him another shot. If it keeps unraveling, then yeah, we'll go to Eli Holst and see how that works and if it's any better. Telly Johnson, I think, is going to be okay. Probably will be back for our next game. LaDon Bryant, Gary Givens, they've been banged up throughout this video. They'll be okay. Bryant had a nice game, another 10-catch, 100-yard day for him. So, I mean, he's been a bright spot for this team. Defensively, not 9 sacks, but still, Jelani Williams has had a really nice senior campaign and a lot better than his 2 previous years. Jacob Finley, I can say, has been really good. And then when it comes to recruiting, I mean, Steve Winey is looking really locked in potentially for this school, which is huge. Cameron Hurt still looking really good as well. And, you know, even though Monk is dropping us on his board and that hurts, we are still at least in position to maybe get him. We add some more corners to the board as well. So let's get into our final prospect highlight, and let's key in a little bit on one major issue we've had on this team, which indisputably has been our offensive line. So let's take a look at our top offensive linemen on our board this year. We always try to stay in tune with some of the players that are in this state when we cover these recruiting prospects. We want to cover some of the best players in the nation. You know, guys, obviously, though, that we aren't going to be in the market for at least anytime soon. Then there are some guys that have some unique stories that are pretty close by. States like Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, some of that MAC and Big Ten area. But then there are these guys that are in our state that are always going to be players that we take a look at. And today we have Samuel Cabello, a guard from Mattoon, Illinois. And we are definitely in a good position for him. You know, we're competing with teams like Marshall, Central Michigan, and Toledo, but this is the type of guard that we could really use on this team right now because we want somebody who is at least got some athleticism to him. This is a guy who, good mover, good puller, gets out in space, is able to have at least his best quality be on display when you're getting him in that open field. He's a pretty fast guard. I mean, he's 290 pounds, so sub 300 pounds, moves pretty well. Now, obviously, when you have a guard like that, his anchor is going to be a little bit of a rough spot for him. He might get bulldozed, and he'll have some ugly plays where, you know, a 320-pounder with some burst will just mow him over and get to the quarterback. But when you have a guard like this, it's always nice to have, you know, maybe him be the double team guy with the center. When you're going up against a 4-man front and a 4-man pass rush, you always are going to have a double team mostly on the interior, and he's going to be the type of guy that we maybe him in the center do a double team on the guy in the interior. So in the pass blocking, I think you can hide some of his weaknesses, even though right now he is below average, and if you get him one-on-one, you send 5, you don't give him any help. If you put him on an island against somebody who's an adequate pass rusher or better, he's going to get exposed, and that's where he, you know, lies as a 3-star prospect. But I do think for a 3-star prospect, you're not going to find many guys who are better in the run game at this skill level. So Comella is somebody that we are going really hard to get because obviously we want to strengthen the offensive line. It is always a good idea to strengthen this offensive line, and right now we are looking good for him. It's basically us and Central Michigan are the top 2 teams, Marshall a distant third, and like I said, are really, you know, he's one of our realistic gets that we are putting a lot of assets into going for. For the next set of recruiting profiles, I really want to key in on a couple of players that have been added to our board, a couple of players that we actually have chances to get. I've been covering, you know, some 5 stars, some players that are interesting stories, but I really want to cover some guys that actually could potentially be on this team next year. So that will be in the next video, in the next set of recruiting profiles, as well as I will have the inside scoop on Jalen Leanne's visit to NIU. That will also be in the next video as we will continue on in MAC play, searching for our first win of the season. I hope you guys all enjoyed, as even though the wins are not there for us yet, I feel like we have some at least exciting prospects and some exciting stories to keep track of, and we have some players that are bright spots on this team. So like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I will see you guys all in the next one.